Hey everybody, give me a moment and we will crack this open. Let me maybe bring up so I can see some chat. Let's bring some chat up on here. Give it a few minutes before we start. Check microphone's working, cameras are working. Jolly good. Typical. This is something that needs an update. Cool. So this is a video where I'm going to be unboxing ReichBusters from Mythic Games that's just arrived. Kickstarter that I think I backed probably 18 months ago, it feels like. Could be longer, but about 18 months ago, I'll say. After seeing it being played on beastsofwar.com, it looked like a lot of fun. And obviously I have other games from the guys over at Mythic, Joan of Arc, Mythic Pantheon battles before the split. Yeah, so let's crack this open. So it's weird World War II. I don't know too much about the backstory of it all, but yeah, it's Nazis, it's heroes, it's infiltration, gathering the objective, getting out before all hell breaks loose. It's monsters and all that sorts of good stuff. So let's jump into it. So we move. This is the. I don't know how big the various
Sorry,
back
I
into
don't
it.
know that one.
Oh, my Google's trying to kick in. I didn't ask you to do that. I think this was like the standard pledge. So you pretty much got these four things. There's an extra one down here. I did crack the cellophane off of them all, so I did because I wanted to grab just the rule book out to look at. But I'll show you that anyway in a sec. But yeah, let's take a look. So we'll move some of this side. We'll kick off with the main box first. So we move all this to one side. Let me just check the stream's running okay. I seem to be quite jerky on the camera. I don't know if that's me or the camera. Let me know if it's... I have got the chat up, so if anyone does say anything, do let me know if the stream's okay. So straight away, cool. I mean, the box art on all of the boxes is fantastic. That's typical sort of Mythic. They're very good on the artwork and good, solid, strong boxes, which is going to be good because most of this stuff needs to go back in. So when I opened it, first of all, the first things I saw on top were both the rule book and the mission book. I grabbed the rule book out so I could start reading it. I haven't looked at the mission book yet, but it's very easy to tell straight away. It's a layout of the various missions you're going to come across, the various tiles you're going to need, the various tokens and enemies, and so on and so forth. So probably all the spoilers are in here, so I won't go through that too much. On the top there, a whole bunch of custom dice, a bunch of nice green ones, white ones, red ones, and black ones. I don't know if I've got more dice. I'll have to look in the rest of the boxes, but I always find with these sorts of games you can never have too many of the dice. Otherwise you're passing them around to each other constantly. Let me move this stool out of the way. Anything that needs to be close, I'll stick it under this camera I have here. So for instance, I can quickly show you the dice. I'll chuck them under this close camera. It does seem like the frame rate's a bit jerky, but hopefully it's enough for you to get an idea of what I'm looking at. But yeah, nice quality dice. You know, they definitely feel like quality items so far. Rulebook. Don't know what to tell you. It's a nicely printed rulebook. There's lots of pictures in here. It's not very thick. You know, it's not a dense rulebook at all. So hopefully not too much to go through. Right, let's grab some of this stuff. Loads of cards. Loads and loads of cards. There's Sarge there. This looks like the various sort of character cards. So we've got Gisela Gruber on the front there. So telling them what sort of stats they've got. I'm not going to crack the actual packets open, I will just show you the kind of cards they are, but you can see again, nice artwork and good quality. Mythic have always done, whatever I think about the actual games, the quality of the stuff has never been bad. But we'll grab some miniatures. This is what we all came to look at. Oh, crikey. This first box is packed. I think there's 3 trays here. I don't know if I'm going to do this all in one video because this might take a long time, so we might do a couple of videos, but this first box is well stuck. Here we go, here we go. So many miniatures as they came jumping out. So straight off the top there, we've got what looks to be a bunch of the Viril and Reich, sort of the bad guys. And they look, let me grab something so I can show you, take a look myself. This is the first time I've seen them in the flesh. They look nice. They are all one piece. Let me try and get that on the camera. Sort of board game quality, but they look nice enough. Yeah, they are. They're actually very good quality. I can't really grumble. Actually, they look great. I don't know what I'm going to do as far as painting these guys. I'm not sure I can bring myself to painting the whole lot, but certainly we'll put some sort of, we might go for a zenithing type solution on them. I like these guys. Look at this guy. He's got like a minigun that he's holding there. This one, where's the lens? The lens is about there. There we go. Right. So hopefully you can see that. Yeah. So already that's a lot of miniatures. That's, you know, significant number straight there in the first one. I thought it was 3 trays, but it's actually only 2 trays. See if I can get this back on the top. There's so many to go through, I won't just go in depth on each box. Maybe as a second video we'll go a bit deeper and look at them, but at the moment I just want to kind of give you an overview of what's in there. Okay, so this one has got some big boys in. We've got character trays. So I'll show you one on there and I'll show you one here. So you can put your character card in, I'm guessing things, oh there's your weapons, you've got upgrades and all sorts. These are really nice. So you can organise your character, and there's 4 of them there, so for 4 players there's enough. We've got this big boy. Oh, is that arm loose or coming off? Okay, it's a shame. So I've got my first breakage. That arm is not meant to come off. I can tell by the join that's sheared off, but it would be it's easily fixable. So it's a shame that's happened, but that's probably in packing or shipping, which happens. But yeah, so here he is here, and if I show you, you can see where it's sheared off inside there. So I will be able to fix that, a bit of super glue, and it'll be fine. But otherwise, a pretty awesome looking model. The only thing I don't like there is this kind of chain ammo. It looks very thin. But it looks like a cool miniature anyway, some sort of like a juggernaut covered in armour. So he's very cool. Shame about the damage, but never mind. Hopefully yours doesn't come through like that. We've then got this guy, who's very odd looking. He's in like a spider type wheelchair maybe. Clearly a boss of some description. Some of the, yeah, so I'm guessing that's a Gruber, as we saw earlier. Giselle Gruber there. If anyone has any questions or anything specific they want to see, do shout. And then there's Heroes. Of course, if you're watching this back on YouTube, you can shout, but I won't know. But if you're watching it on Twitch, let me know. So hero models, they're looking pretty cool. There's the guy from the front of the box with his twin machine guns. He's looking very cool indeed. I think that's Sarge there, leading the way with his pistol and his Thompson there, I think it is, isn't it? So yeah, that's the main heroes, the main villains, the big bad, and the character cards in that box. So I guess if you were going to retail, I don't know if this game is going to retail, that would be all the miniatures you get in the box, because the rest of the box is tiles. So let me flip this up. Yeah, the rest of it is all cardstock, so a big old block of cardstock there, and various floor tiles for you to punch out and to use. Various tokens everywhere. There's a whole bunch of it in there. More tokens, hallways. So I could bust it open if I had a knife. Let me go and get a knife. Probably should have brought one in before. Let me check the stream's okay. We seem to be good. We seem to be good. So, run that gently up the side there. Yeah, so as we thought, there's the sort of, I think this is the noise tracker. I think that's how they determine what's going to come and get you. In the noise tracker, you've got corridors, you've got tokens, you've got everything you would expect. Another corridor there, more tokens, there's doorways. Now I've actually got the physical doorways in this Kickstarter, so we'll come across those later. Dog tags to represent for your characters, more and more. Lots more. Here's a very grim morgue here. Something very untoward is going on in this room with its kind of spiritual symbols. Yeah, lots of rooms, which is cool to see. Lots of corridors, lots of different offices. So this will be nice. It means it looks like there's a fair bit to explore, and hopefully the game doesn't feel repetitive at all. Yeah, big old claw marks in the wall there are something not very nice. It's kind of busted in and causing problems. So yeah, lots of cardstock, lots of tiles. So let's start putting this back in the box again, and we'll grab another box. So yeah, like I say, I think if you get this from retail, this is what you would get. There's a bug in here. What are you doing here, mister? Go on, bugger off, I'm doing a video. So, put that there. Can I actually get all this back in the box? This is always a test. Does it all go back in again? It does, there we go. I'm going to keep the rule book out because I'm going to want to read that later. So that is box number 1. That is the core box of ReichBusters. Move that to one side. Let's grab the cargo hold. Now I thought that this was a box to store all your gubbins in, hence why it's called the cargo hold. But it certainly feels like there's already a lot in here. So maybe I misunderstood what the cargo hold was for. Okay, let me just check the chat. I have no idea if anyone's even watching this. Hopefully people can hear me okay. If you can't hear me, please do let me know, because I'm not watching this back. So the cargo hold. There's definitely a box of miniatures there. There are a ton more cards, like a lot. That is a lot of cards. That's 4 decks of, I'm going to say there's probably maybe even 100 cards in each deck. So that's probably 400 cards. Now normally with Mythic you do get French and English, so I'm imagining that's what I've got here. Yes, yes, this is French, this is French, this is English, and this is English. So it's not that those are all cards. They've just nicely supplied you with both the French translation and English translation of the game. Mythic being a French company and therefore produces all of their games in both languages. This looks like an extra mission. That's cool. More missions, please. And then some even more card stock at the bottom. More tokens, more weapons, and all sorts. Cool, so we'll pop that back in and then we'll look at what was in the box. Right, move that to one side. Okay. Right, some cards of monsters, character cards again like we saw in the core box. We've got some room items and yes, some more. So again, French and English for the cards. So don't go thinking that everything is doubled up. For some reason it is there are 2 languages. So if you wanted to, you could just recycle all of the French stuff if you don't need it, or anything else. Darn it. He beat me with Fallout in the box. No, sorry, it's not Fallout. It is ReichBusters. So yeah, we went through that. You missed it, Tuffy. We went through the core box already. So we're now looking at the cargo hold, which I thought was a storage box for the game. I thought that when we originally backed it, but actually it looks like it comes pre-filled. There's been one breakage already. Sadly, one of my big Juggernaut robots' arm is broken at the shoulder, but that looks to be easily fixed. So this is 2 more trays of miniatures. This was the guy that in my other box was broken, and I can happily say in this box he doesn't have an arm that's about to fall off, or sheared off is in the other box. Again, that ammo belt there is very thin. Feels like that could break quite easily, but the rest of the miniature feels pretty rock solid. We've got some cool looking sort of half mutant, half human type Nazis in here, a bit more experimenting with the vril. We've got some, they've gone all the way and they're now full on mutants, so they're quite cool. We've got some more heroes. I'm guessing the heroes are all in the brown plastic, so straight away you can play, because everything that's bad is grey and everything that's good is brown, so, or tan, or whatever you want to call this. There's a hero there sort of stepping up on a box and shooting. You've got this guy who's loving life, ready for battle. Yeah. And so on and so forth. Lots of miniatures. Like this is another marine looking guy. He's got a dagger and a gun. This guy, I think someone played him in one of the Let's Plays of Beasts of War. He's sat on a barrel. I think he throws dynamite and stuff around. A very explodey type person. This guy's got a bazooka. Yeah, you've got, these are quite cool. These are sort of gun turrets. Gun turrets with legs. Hopefully you're able to see that. No worries. Well, I'm glad you're here now, Tuffy. We can go through it. Much of what you've already seen is very similar to what's in the core box. There's just less of it in the core box. Got some dog tags for you to wear, and I would be making everyone who's playing the game wear a dog tag during play. That is probably a house rule. So I will find some little beaded chains for those to go on so people can actually wear their dog tags. And this box is just full of more German so experiments, like these kind of dog creatures up here. Some scientists sort of hugging onto big vats of vril. Your classic Nazi soldiers. Oh, there's your siren for alerting everybody that there's people that need to be taken out. Yeah, so there we go. That's that box. So that feels like the first add-on you would add to the core box, because it's more of the same, just more. So you can play bigger games, and I think there's a couple of extra missions and stuff in there. Lots more cards. That is my only thing about Mythic games, is they are super heavy on tokens and cards. It can take you just as long to set up a game as it can to take you to play it. I'm hoping that's not the case with this though. It doesn't look like it. Oh, the very satisfying slow close of a box there. Right, let's grab the next one. We can go for Not of This Earth or Project X. Let's go with, leave Project X at the end, because I think Project X is just one big miniature. So we'll go for the big miniature at the end. So this is Not of This Earth, which I think is supposed to be like beyond ReichBusters, so when things get really weird. So we'll go through what's in there first. We've got, again, English and French in all of the materials, so you can cut down on stuff if you want, because you can get rid of whichever language you don't need. So I'm going to obviously first of all find out if anyone wants all the French stuff, and if they do, I'll send it to them. If they don't, I'll probably recycle it all. So yeah, looks like a comic book. It's really cool. So some more cardstock in here. Let's crack this open so we can take a little bit of a look. Grab the old trusty knife. Tuffy, can you hear and see everything okay? I assume so. Right. So this is some more tiles, but they look a bit weirder. So it almost looks like it could be underground somewhere. I think it is meant to be more of a cave system. Like I said, I don't know too much about the expansion, but I think that's meant to be more of a cave system. Just a bit harder to tell, but they are just sort of like directions. There we go, yeah, so there's some junctions there. So yeah, I think this is meant to be more like your underground. Level, yeah, Warren level of weird, exactly. Yes. Yeah, more oh, there you go. Entrance and exits. And again, even with the tokens, there is French and English versions of the tokens. So entree, sortie, and then I don't know if that's how you say that, but entrance and exit. So this is entrance and exit in French, and this is entrance and exit in English. So once you've punched all this stuff out, to keep the space down, because these games do take up a lot of space, you can ditch the language you don't want. So you don't have to keep it all. Right, let's go with this box then. More miniatures. Oh, this has got some good stuff in it. Oh, there's a big monster in there. Again, more cards, more character cards, again in both languages. More item cards, again in both languages. Little pod-like monsters. Oh, I don't know how well they're attached to the base, so I want to pull to her. It's like a wormy type creature, and then there's kind of like pod thing on legs. So again, like, clearly not of this world, as the box says. Okay, this is a box of awesomeness. This is much more up my street. Look, oh, should we just go straight for the big guy? We'll go straight for the big guy. So this is an armoured sort of behemoth with massive sharp razor claws and armoured plating, but underneath is just all bad. Sorry, the camera is a bit jerky, but I guess it doesn't really matter as long as I'm showing you in stills. So, don't know why that is. But you get the gist of the quality of the model and also the size of it. Like, I've got quite big hands, so these aren't small miniatures. Yeah, he's cool. This guy is definitely something. Oh, I can't get him out. Let's get this guy out first, and then we'll try for this guy. Oh, come on! I don't want to pull too hard, but there we go. There we go. Right. So first of all, we've got this worm. It's weird. It's like almost like a centipede with like an alien head. Yeah. There we go. And then it's another variant of that creature, but it's actually got 4 legs now, and it's got a kind of whippy. This is a bit more like the alien from the Alien movies, but then also not. It's got armoured legs and head, and then it's kind of 3 tails. That's very cool. That's also going to get broken. Those tails stick out, and they're very thin. So let's see how long that survives. We've got gun crews over here. These look at the size of that gun. So these kind of shoulder cannon gun crews. They're going to be interesting to come up against. Well, looks like there's some. I have a bit in here which I don't know what that's from. That's come off the back of someone. It's come off the back of this guy. So we have our second breakage, which is this guy's lost his backpack, which is supposed to attach to that gun. It's not too bad of a break. That should be easily fixed. Of course, you don't want to get anything broken, but it's going to happen, I think. This thing, when I look at tracking, has been all over all over Europe, so I'm not surprised some things got broken. This guy it's a human, and then his brain is attached to this giant, again, worm thing. That's all of his brain. So that's weird. But a cool model again. Yeah, exactly. Don't pull too hard. Go easy. There we go. Big guys with massive swords, and the swords aren't bent very. There's a little bit of a bend in that, but pretty good. This is a Nazi soldier who's grown an extra pair. He looks like a bit like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, halfway being transformed. Got a big old set of arms coming off his back. So he's looking pretty cool. Right, so that is that box. Okay, we are on to the final box. Pop this in here. Oh, I forgot the books. Can I put the books on top? Can they just go on top like this? Yeah. Okay. Oh, before we do the last box, because I know the last box is just one big miniature, let's do. I did get this extra box, which I think is just doors. So in the game, you've got cardboard push-outs for doors, and I think there was an option, or it might have been a free upgrade on the Kickstarter, I can't remember, but there was an option to change all of the doors in the game for actual physical doors that actually open up. Which is always a bit nicer than having flimsy cardboard doors. bit of a tongue twister. Right, last one. Not that one. This one. So we've got ReichBusters Project X. Now, if I know this is just one big dude. So we have a floor tile. We have some more mission documents. So you can set up the mission, again in both languages. I feel like I've said that a lot. Some more door tiles, but I've got doors. You can already see them, by the way, through the box. So character card, again in both languages, surprise, surprise. And that is it. Then it's just, how does this come undone? There's sellotape. Let's get the knife. Now, if there's one that I hope hasn't been broken, it's this one. I can take the others being broken, but let's hope this guy doesn't come apart. There we go, from there. Just a bit of sellotape here and there. There we go. Oh, come on. Let's see if he lifts out in one piece. Well, there's no bits in the box. So this is Project X. So I'll straight away start posing him under here so you guys can see him. Again, that's the size of my hand, and this is the size of the model. He is a full-on, bigger than my hand model. Details are not bad. I feel like something should have been here, but I've got nothing missing in my box, so I think that is just a mold, just a bit of mold line or injection line, or however this was made. But yeah, so it's got what, 4 faces in there. It's a big old lump of grotesqueness, experimenting. Yeah, robot, mutant, Nazi mess. So I don't know if you guys can see him. You're going to have to lay down in the dark room after all this figuring out, yes. We'll also figure out what I'm going to lay down to figure out what am I going to do with all of this. These Kickstarters are just so huge. But yeah, this is a cool model. This one will probably get painted up nicely and will probably feature somewhere in my room. I've got a bunch of big miniatures in here that I like to stick out around the places, like Nagash over there and the big dragon from Joan of Arc over there, and you know, other bits and pieces elsewhere, knights and so on and so forth. So I imagine when I do paint him up, he will go up on the shelf somewhere, and that way I can not have to keep this massive box. But yeah, that is the big Project X monster. Hopefully you got a close enough look at it. Looks good quality. There's no damage as far as I can see, which is nice. There's nothing to my eye that I need to fix. Maybe a bit of filling. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap in some. This bit is clearly attached, and there is a line in here that I could fill out, which I might do. Again, here as well. But again, it's a board game, so am I that fussed? Not really. But yeah, there you go. There's the big guy, Project X. Boom, boom, boom. All this back in here. This back on there. This. Oh no, that's wrong. This on top of there. This on top of there. This on top of there. This inside of there. It's been an amazing reboxing, as once said by the bard. So there we have it. I just took you through what was in the Kickstarter for ReichBusters. You have the original box, ReichBusters. I imagine this is what's going to be in the core pledge, or the core retail box if you're going to get it. I don't know if this is going to retail, but good enough amount of stuff in there to get you started. Feels like this is probably the next natural expansion. The cargo hold, more missions, more of the same miniatures, and then these two are for maybe when you've completed all of the missions and campaigns in these two, you want things to get even weirder, you can go off into Not of This Earth and Project X if you want a big thing to go after and not be murdered. There we go. So another good, I was doubting what I was going to do with this. I bought it when I backed it 18 months ago. I've had thoughts about maybe just moving it on, actually selling it to somebody else for no profit whatsoever, just for what I paid for it, because I've got too many games, frankly, and too many Kickstarters. But actually, I think I'm going to keep it and play it, because I think it will be pretty cool. And what I've seen people who have played it, it's been really nice. Let me just check, see if any questions have come through. Please ask questions if you've got any. It's not the size that counts the way you use it, absolutely. It's not too bad compared to like Joan of Arc, which came in about 50 billion boxes, and also Mythic Pantheon Battles. I've managed to condense these down. This box can go because it's just got one miniature in there, so then I'm down to these 3 boxes to store, and that's not too bad, you know. Yeah, so the next thing will be we're going to go away and read the rules, and then me and my boys will sit down, we'll play through a mission and see how it plays. But that's it. I'll wait for a second to see if there's any questions, but I don't think there is. I will leave it at that and say thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this. If you do, I'll put it onto YouTube as well, so if you're there, hey, give me a subscribe, give me a like. If you're on Twitch right now, maybe give me a follow, and I'll do more stuff like this in the future, because it's fun for me. And I do painting videos and all the rest of it. So I'm going to slowly walk over here, say goodbye to Tuffy, because I know she's there. Bye, Tuffy. And I'll sit here and I'll come back. Bye, bye, bye. Yes, hopefully that was alright. I have no idea if you can hear me talking. Yeah, you can hear me talking. Yes, good. Cool, thanks, Tuffy. Next time we'll do some painting and maybe also do a let's play of the game. But I've got another big box of stuff to deal with. It's going to have to find somewhere to live. I don't know where it's going to go right now, but we'll find something. Yes, ta-ta for now. Bye, everybody. Bye.